for it.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
110,000 human lives lost. But how many of ours? More than 100 million. Do they pay respect to our dead? Never. They kill us still.
The bomb changed everything. There's conflict coming.
Now our choice is to accept the consequences or to resist.
Today, our fight back begins.
What's going to happen to us?
Go back to your own kind.
Hello, Mrs. Hawkins. I am Stanley. It's very nice to meet you.
Stanley!
They know we are superior.
Just piss off!
They know we are next.
Who is your leader?
We are everywhere.
Help!
We have a voice, and it will be heard.
The U.S. warning that Chinese hackers are positioning themselves to attack critical U.S. infrastructure. Eamon Javers joins us from D.C. with some exclusive reporting. Eamon.
Hey there, Morgan. That's right. American officials are scrambling to make sure potential weaknesses in the software used to operate American infrastructure have not been penetrated by Chinese and Russian hostile actors. They're focusing on the threat to so-called open source software, which is developed by hobbyists and others and then put into the public domain. Software companies that make infrastructure systems often use large chunks of open source code in their programs, but the fear here is that hackers could be developing this code, releasing it to the public, and seeding vulnerabilities intentionally here.
But I think it's more likely we're going to end up, if we end up in a war, a real shooting war with a major power, it's going to be as a consequence of a cyber breach of great consequence. And it's increasing exponentially, the capabilities. When I was with Mr. Putin, who has a real problem, he's sitting on top of an economy that has nuclear weapons and oil wells and nothing else. Nothing else. Their economy is what, the 8th smallest in the world now? Largest in the world? He knows he's in real trouble, which makes him even more dangerous in my view.
You guys know what this represents?
Tell us, sir.
Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm?
We have the world's great military people in this room, I will tell you that. And we're going to have a great evening. Thank you all for coming.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Okay, why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China.
On August 10th, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency, known as CISA, asked the open source community for ideas on how to secure the code. And a government official tells CNBC that CISA plans to release a draft national strategy for open source security in the coming months. Meanwhile, a new report from a cybersecurity firm highlights the potential threat. Researchers at Fortress Information Security discovered that 90% of the products used to manage America's electric grid contained contributions from developers who said they were working in Russia or China. And they say Russian and Chinese open source code is 3 times more likely to have vulnerabilities than code produced in other regions. Now, Fortress estimates that the cost to replace all that code would be a staggering $40 billion. So given those huge costs, it's not likely that companies are going to pay to replace all that software. But CISA is making it clear that it believes that software companies that consume open source software should contribute back to the security of that software overall.
Meantime, the FBI is now assisting in the investigation of a brazen and far-reaching cyber attack on MGM resorts. Now, the incident began Sunday. Computer systems went offline at MGM properties on the Vegas Strip, including hotels like the Bellagio, Aria, and Mandalay Bay. The attack even took down the MGM website, including booking systems, along with casino slot machines and sports betting kiosks. Also, get this. Guests had trouble accessing their rooms with digital keys, and according to reports, some were even locked out because of the hack. Now, as of this moment, the MGM website is still offline with a "we are currently unavailable" message. In a statement yesterday, MGM said they did shut down their systems to protect data, but that the resorts remain operational. This is the second cybersecurity issue the company has faced in recent years. 2019, MGM confirmed that it was the victim of a data breach which affected about 10 million of you.
You need an army.
That's it. An electronic army. If I were us, I'd get on the internet, send out a major distress signal.
Hackers of the world unite.
How are you gonna take care of the cops?
We need to be prepared for the next pandemic. We're not prepared for COVID-19, so we need to do better. And we need to be committed to make sure all tools get out to everyone in the world. China's expertise and resources and manufacturing capacities will help us meet those needs.
The really big thing is hacking human beings. To hack human beings, you need a lot of biological knowledge, a lot of computing power, and especially a lot of data. If you have enough data about me and enough computing power and biological knowledge, you can hack my body, my brain, my life. You can reach a point when you know me better than I know myself. And once you reach that point, and we are very close to that point, then democracy, the free market as we have, and actually all political systems, also authoritarian regimes, we have no idea what happens once you pass that point.
How big of a risk are cybersecurity incidents like this for you? What other kind of companies could be vulnerable? Let's bring in our panel. Howard Stutz is the Nevada Independent reporter on gaming and tourism, and David Kennedy, a cybersecurity expert and the founder and CEO of Trusted Sec. Kennedy has also testified before the Congress on national security issues. Howard, I'm going to start with you, though. So you're saying to me, because if I use a digital key like millions of people now do, and I want to go back up to my room, I couldn't get in?
That's apparently what happened in the last, since starting yesterday. And they said they went out there and now they've keyed all the rooms so that people are able to get in. This is just ongoing. It's been going on now that we're in the second day of it. It actually started, it looked like Sunday night. And then MGM announced Monday morning that, what you said, they were under some type of cyber attack. They alerted federal alert authorities, obviously the FBI, Nevada gaming regulators, and they've been managing their way through it. And I was over there yesterday. MGM was the first resort on the Strip, first company on the Strip to have paid parking. All the parking, there's no paid parking right now. You just drove right in.
Yo, I'm blowing up. It's Kate, Grand Central. Let's hit it.
The voodoo, what you done did.
it's affecting a lot of different areas for MGM. And it's not just Vegas. Remember, MGM has casinos, as you're showing, in Maryland, Ohio, and New York, Atlantic City. All those casinos are being affected by this this attack.
And from what I understand, Howard, if you won money, all the slot machines, everything now is digital. They put the stuff on a card. If you won money, woohoo, you want to go get cashed out. A lot of people couldn't or had to wait a long time.
It was bizarre. They had a lot of machines had taped over, out of order on the voucher where you would feed in your ticket in, ticket out, or your cash, but you couldn't cash out, and you're waiting for hand pays, and which were an attendant would come over and pay you, what you owed. There were some machines people just said forget it and left. They left like $1.95 on the machine. There was one guy I talked to at Excalibur. He had $1,500 on that machine. He'd been sitting there a half hour, and he said, "I'm not going anywhere." So yeah, this is the thing they've been dealing with here for a couple of days now.
Still a lot of confusion over the cyber attack at MGM Resorts. A social media post pointing to a Russian hacker group accepting responsibility and saying that it originated through a phone call that was made based on LinkedIn in order to get that information.
Thanks for the ride.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy. So what's the deal?
Get going. You don't have time for breakfast.
Are you working or what?
Yeah, I'll be at the station all day, so you're gonna have to hitch a ride home. You got practice today?
After that, man, we're on double time. Triple.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You think they take it down?
Oh, come on, bud. You lost a football game once yourself.
What? I don't remember.
I do.
I think you're lying.
Yeah.
I never know when to believe your mouth.
I like this. Later, bud.
See you, Jed. So, did you do your history?
Yeah, some of it.
Now, the great hunt would always begin with the army spread out in a semicircle, I would say about the size of Rhode Island. Then they would ride forward, driving everything before them. Beast, men, even bugs. Now, the ends would kind of close in to form a shrinking circle. And everything within that circle panicked to get out. So when the Mongols could see each other, they had worked themselves up into a pretty good frenzy. Now, when this killing started, it lasted for days, weeks, even months. And it went on until the young son of the Khan asked his father, that the last creature alive, be allowed to go free. Well, now, my friend, Well, now.
Oh, check it out.
All right.
Look pretty cool, though, man.
I would say they were way off course. This is very unusual.
You do something, Mr. Teasdale.
Go see Ellis.
I can see Russia from my house.
And this is while MGM Resorts International and the state agency which regulates gambling aren't releasing information. 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy been digging for answers today and has more from the Las Vegas Strip.
This is more than 3 days after it appears this major ransomware attack was discovered, and it is still affecting what is happening inside MGM Resorts, hotels, and casinos. We visited 3 different properties. All of them are having issues. Many slot machines on the floor, not in service. Some ATMs and also machines where you cash out, not in service.
Is this likely a ransomware attack? Basically, we're just going to keep holding you hostage, at least, or keep messing with you until you pay us money. Otherwise, what else they want?
Yeah, this has all the hallmarks of a ransomware event. The weekend is usually when ransomware folks kick it off because most of the IT folks, all the security folks are all, at home, and it causes pandemonium and mayhem. And so we usually see, Saturday, Sunday being kind of the kickoff time for these. And then from there, trying to do the extortion. And they're not just shutting down systems. They also steal data. So they'll steal, credit card numbers, social security numbers, driver's license information, personal information, any intellectual property. And then they hold that for ransom as well. So even if you're able to recover, you still need to pay the ransom if you don't want them to release the actual data. So ransomware groups are problematic for every organization out there right now, not just casinos. But, I think everybody expects casinos to be Ocean's 11, super secure, where they really consider themselves more hospitality. And while they might have good physical security, their cybersecurity is often lacking in a number of areas, and they're really vulnerable. And I'm surprised something like this hasn't happened in the extent it has with MGM to all of the other brands as well. Yeah. But it's definitely, they're on notice at the moment.
To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
So, Lauren, this is the second cyber attack in less than a month, the first on the Colonial Pipeline, which forced a 6-day shutdown of one of the largest pipelines. Should we be concerned about another one like?
Hey, kid! Wake up!
Ralph, what is wrong with you?
Start churning butter and put on your church shoes, little sister, because we're about to blast off!
Ralph, what is it you're trying to say?
We're going to the internet.
What?
Work it, make it, do it. Make sense. Get all the make it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the internet.
Whoa, cool. Wow, look at all this stuff.
This is the most beautiful miracle I've ever seen.
Welcome to the search bar. What can I help you find today? Umbrella, umbrage, umami.
No.
Noah's Ark, no doubt. Nordstrom Rack, ergonomics, Urban Outfitters, cool.
I'm pretty sure he's just trying to guess what you're gonna say.
My autofill is a touch aggressive today.
Let me try. Take me to a website that's super intense and really nuts.
Oh, I only found one result.
Oh, come on. Princesses and cartoon characters barf.
Hey.
Whoa! Cool!
You're coming with us, kid.
Hi. Whoa, ladies, I'm a princess too.
What kind of a princess are you?
Do you have magic hair? No.
Magic hands?
No.
Do animals talk to you?
No.
Were you poisoned?
No.
Cursed?
No.
Kidnapped or enslaved?
No. Are you guys okay? Should I call the police?
Do people assume all your problems got solved because a big, strong man showed up?
Yes. What is up with that?
She is a princess.
Ralph breaks the internet.
So you may remember with the Colonial Pipeline attack, the company ended up paying the ransom.
There are some who argue that the next war will not be a nuclear war, or it may perhaps not even bioterrorism. It will be a cyber war.
That's a third area. And I personally think there's only the three, but that's not much comfort. Yes, a modern society depends on electricity and communications and information flow. And if you can, for a substantial period of time, disrupt that, then a lot of systems, including how a hospital organizes itself or how food gets moved around,
financial institutions,
an airline decides what to do, or bank accounts, what was that bank account supposed to be? And so a lot of experts in government and companies now are spending time thinking about, okay, how do you minimize that? How do you have duplicates, backup? A lot of sophistication going into that.
Mr. Zuckerberg, this is an administrative board hearing. You're being accused of intentionally breaching security, violating copyrights, violating individual privacy by creating the website www.facesmash.com. You're also charged with being in violation of university policy on distribution of digitized images. Before we begin with our questioning, you're allowed to make a statement. Would you like to do so?
I've already apologized in the Crimson to the ABHW, to Fuerza Latina, and to any women at Harvard who may have been insulted, as I take it that they were. As for any charges stemming from the breach of security, I believe I deserve some recognition from this board.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Which part?
You deserve recognition.
I believe I pointed out some pretty gaping holes in your system.
Excuse me, may I?
Yes.
Mr. Zuckerberg, I'm in charge of security for all computers on the Harvard network, and I can assure you of its sophistication. In fact, it was that level of sophistication that led us to you in less than 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yes, sir.
That would be impressive, except if you had known what you were looking for, you would have seen it written on my dorm room window.
So?
6 months academic probation.
Wow. They had to make an example out of you.
They had my blog. I shouldn't have written that thing about the farm animals. That was stupid. But I was kidding, for God's sakes. Doesn't anybody have a sense of humor?
I tried to stop you.
I know.
How do you do this thing where you manage to get all girls to hate us? Why do I let you?
I know.
The precise number of systems that have been exposed by this vulnerability and have been exploited either by nation-state threat actors or ransomware hackers or others, that is something that we are urgently working with the private sector to determine. It is certainly the case that malign actors are still in some of these Microsoft Exchange systems, which is why we have pushed so hard to get those systems patched.
So Sullivan there saying the bad guys are still in a lot of these servers. We think the cybersecurity industry broadly thinks that those bad guys are the Chinese. The White House not pointing the finger specifically to the Chinese government just yet, saying attribution is still to come. But the way this ransomware works, Melissa, is that the companies that are being hit hard by it may already know that they've been hit hard by it, and someone is extorting them already, demanding payment, or else threatening to leak the emails. Mm-hmm. We could see that start to happen in the coming days if those companies decide, you know what, we're just not going to pay these extortionists.
The dirty bomb allegations from Russia as it relates to Ukraine, do you believe that this is the beginning of a false flag operation? Is Russia preparing to deploy a dirty bomb itself or a nuclear weapon?
I spent a lot of time today talking about that. Let me just say, Russia would be making an incredibly serious mistake if we're to use a tactical nuclear weapon. I'm not guaranteeing you that it's a false flag operation yet. We don't know. But it would be a serious, serious mistake.
But perhaps with all your jetting around, you have not had chance to peruse today's headlines. I rather like the last one. It isn't even mine.
I never believe what I read in the press anyway.
Therein lies your problem, Mr. Bond. You see, we're both men of action, but your era and Miss Lynn's is passing. Words are the new weapons. Satellites, the new artillery.
And you become the new Supreme Allied Commander?
Exactly. Caesar had his legions, Napoleon had his armies.
Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump. We're all cut from the same cloth.
I have my divisions. TV, news, magazines. And by midnight tonight, I'll have reached and influenced more people than anyone in the history of this planet, save God himself. And the best he ever managed was a Sermon on the Mount.
You really are quite insane.
Somebody said to me the other day, "You're the most famous person in the world by far." I said, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." They said, "Yes, you are." I said, "No." They said, "Who's more famous?" I said, "Jesus Christ."
The distance between insanity and genius is measured only by success.
We're in position between the fleets.
Fire one missile at the flagship of each fleet. The Chinese will think the British are rattling the saber. The British will think the Chinese are being belligerent. And the media will provide cool, objective coverage. Let the mayhem begin.
Eamon, quick question. I read that about a third of the vulnerable Microsoft Exchange customers have not yet patched their systems yet. This is according to BitSites. And I'm wondering at this point with this warning, if they went ahead and patched their systems, if that could protect them from this next layer.
Well, it's something that you have to do, and the White House is urging everybody to patch their systems, to pay attention to what the Microsoft warnings were on this. They've put out exactly what you need to do. But, you know, in many ways, patching your systems now is a little bit like locking your front door with the burglar still in the house, right? It's going to prevent the other burglars from getting in, but it doesn't do anything about the guy hiding in your closet. You still have to go through your entire house and make sure that there's nobody else left inside. And if you find somebody, throw them out the window. That's kind of where we're at. You have to lock the door and you have to search the closet.
What were the non-Microsoft browsers that you were concerned about in January of 1996?
That month.
Yes, sir.
And what about it?
What non-Microsoft browsers were you concerned about in January of 1996?
I don't know what you mean concerned.
What is it about the word concerned that you don't understand?
I'm not sure what you mean by it.
The Justice Department has charged Microsoft with engaging in anti-competitive and exclusionary practices designed to maintain its monopoly in personal computer operating systems.
System breach.
Oh.
Firewall 1.
We got a problem.
What?
Someone synced a rat to one of my servers. A remote access tool. We're being hacked.
By Locksat?
I don't know.
But we've been so careful. How could they find us?
They haven't found us yet. Just cracked the outer layer of our system. I'll start an intrusion inspection and find out who our rat is.
Uh-oh.
What?
They're onto us. Vikram's trying to track our IP address.
Oh, can you stop it?
No. But I can slow him down.
It's coming from inside the city, trying to narrow it down.
Okay. What the hell?
You are good, but I am better.
cat videos? That doesn't seem like Locksat. Who would do that?
We're about to find out.
That barely slowed him down. I'm sorry, but he's going to find us in less than a minute. Should we abort?
No, we've only got 2 of the blinky boxes left to go.
Ooh, blinky boxes.
Just hack.
Come on. Got it.
That's Castle's office.
He must be working with Haley. She's got the skill set for this, and she is about to breach our firewall. If she does, they'll have instant access to our entire investigation.
No. That's going to put a target on Castle's back. We have to stop him.
I can do it, but I need time.
Let me see if I can buy you some.
And a different kind of fan, for sure, was spotted in the stands at SoFi for Sunday's matchup between the LA Chargers and the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and their presence was freaking out some people there. They were really buzzing about it on social media. Take a look at this. Imagine getting to your seat and then realizing you are seated next to an AI robot. In true LA fashion, the bots were there as a promotional stunt. It's for an upcoming movie, The Creator. It shocked fans, though, and they were posting on it, social media about it. And of course, that was even more advertising for the film.
What's heaven?
It's a peaceful place in the sky.
Are you going to heaven?
No. You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
Then we're the same. We can't go to heaven because you're not good. And I'm not a person. They're coming to get me.
I'm like a bodyguard. I'm getting you out of this.
Take care of her.
I promise.
Seatbelts.
called for me the first time you encountered the signal.
This is the signal.
We're not certain what we're dealing with here.
If you hear it, you have been chosen. The signal.
perfectly in sync with you. And I know that you can feel it too, feel it too, feel it too. I was made to love. I was made to love.
It's Becca calling. That's Becca. She's calling. What do I do?
Answer it. Let's see how much she knows.
Hey.
Hey, babe.
Change your mind about tonight?
Tonight's still not going to work. But what about right now? Feel like steaming up your office?
My office? That sounds great. I'm, sort of in the middle of something right now.
Really? That's too bad, because I'm right downstairs.
Downstairs?
Yeah. I can be up in 10 seconds.
10 seconds is not long at all. Hang on 1 second. We gotta shut it down. She's gonna walk in the front door.
No. She's lying. Her phone is pinging from Queens.
She knows it's us who's hacking her. Sorry about that. Just taking off my pants. You coming up?
He knows I'm lying. Hey, you know what? Something just came up. Rain check?
Sure. You know where to find me.
Okay.
She's almost in. I could launch a cyber nuke, but it'll completely fry his system.
He's got a backup system at home.
Is that a go for launch?
Yes.
No. Oh!
What just happened?
Armageddon, I'm afraid.
The final mission to save mankind has failed. The 70-mile-wide asteroid known as Matilda is set to collide with Earth in exactly 3 weeks' time, and we'll be bringing you our countdown to the end of days, along with all your classic rock favorites.
Feel free to wear your casual Friday clothing pretty much any day of the week. And if anyone wants to be CFO. Anyone?
So, what are you doing with the rest of your life?
Catching up on some me time, find God.
He'll come in. He'll come in. If you're seeking, he'll come in. If you're seeking, he'll come in. Bless your name, Jesus. Bless your name, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.